Have you ever wondered why some women seem to effortlessly capture a man's attention, not just for a moment, but for the long haul? What if I told you it has less to do with looks and more to do with energy, presence, and subtle habits that speak straight to a man's subconscious? In today's video, I'm going to share 3 feminine habits that don't just attract a man, they create a lasting imprint on his mind and heart. These aren't surface level tricks or fake tactics. We're going deeper. This is about understanding how masculine and feminine dynamics really work, and how you can align with your natural power in a way that feels authentic, not manipulative. Whether you're single, dating, or in a relationship, the habits we're diving into today will help you show up in a way that feels powerful, grounded, and magnetic without ever having to chase. You're going to learn what high-value women do differently, the emotional signals men are wired to respond to, and how to create chemistry that doesn't fade. If you've ever felt like you're doing all the right things, but still not getting the response you want from men, this video will shift everything. So stay with me, because the habits I'm about to reveal are backed by real psychological triggers, the kind that make a man think about you even when you're not around. Let's dive in. And by the end, you'll understand how to activate the version of you that men can't get enough of. When we talk about being irresistible, most people immediately jump to appearance, but true, lasting attraction starts in the mind. Irresistibility is about how you make someone feel in your presence, and that's where psychology comes in. Men are biologically and emotionally wired to respond to certain cues, subtle signals that tell them a woman is confident, emotionally safe, and deeply in tune with her feminine energy. These are things most people never consciously notice, but they shape how a man perceives you almost instantly. Attraction isn't just a spark, it's a pattern. One that can be created when you understand emotional triggers. One of the most powerful is emotional contrast. This is the ability to be soft, yet strong, warm, yet grounded, expressive, yet composed. When a woman can embody that emotional depth, she naturally creates intrigue and desire. It signals to a man's subconscious that being around her will be emotionally rich, never dull or predictable. That's addictive. Then, there's the concept of perceived value. In psychology, humans are drawn to what they believe is rare. When you fully own your self-worth, set healthy boundaries, and move with quiet confidence, you signal high value without saying a word. Men don't fall for women who are available to everyone. They fall for the one who is selective, intentional, and radiates self-respect. Another key aspect, emotional safety. Men may not say it, but they crave connection with someone who doesn't judge them, who listens without trying to fix, and who allows space for vulnerability. A woman who knows how to regulate her own emotions without drama, manipulation, or neediness becomes a calming, grounding presence. That's a rare and irresistible experience for any man. These psychological elements aren't about pretending to be someone you're not. They're about stripping away the habits that block your feminine magnetism and letting your natural energy speak louder than words. Irresistibility isn't something you chase, it's something you become. And once you do, you'll never feel like you're competing or forcing a connection again, because the right man won't just be interested, he'll be addicted. Let's start with the first feminine habit that creates deep emotional impact, and that's emotional presence. This is one of the most overlooked yet magnetic traits a woman can embody. Emotional presence means you are truly there. Mentally, emotionally, and energetically. When you're with someone, in a world full of distractions, masks, and constant performance, this kind of presence is rare, and men feel it immediately. Most people listen to respond, but when a woman listens just to feel, just to be with, it creates a level of connection that bypasses logic and speaks directly to the heart. It says, I see you, I hear you, I'm not trying to fix you. I'm just here with you. That simple shift creates a massive emotional opening. And here's what most people don't realize. Men fall in love in moments of emotional safety and reflection. Not in the chase, not in the drama, not in the effort. They fall in love in the quiet. An emotional presence creates that quiet. Presence also requires you to be deeply connected to yourself in the moment. That means not hiding your emotions, not shrinking yourself to be easygoing and not detaching to seem strong. It means allowing your emotions to move through you with grace without letting them control you or become a performance. There's a difference between being emotional and being emotionally available. A woman who is emotionally present can express what she feels without blaming or overwhelming the other person. That balance is intoxicating. Here's the thing. When a man is around a woman who is emotionally present, he starts to feel more present too. That's the secret. Your presence invites him. When you're truly in your body, in your heart, not multitasking mentally or playing out a script, you create a space where he can let his guard down. That's when emotional intimacy starts to form. Not through strategy, but through energy. Men may not always articulate it, but they can tell when a woman is checked out, distracted, or saying things she doesn't really feel. And the opposite is also true. When a woman is rooted in her own feelings, when her eyes say, "I'm here with you," and when her vibe feels warm, grounded, and emotionally safe, he relaxes. He leans in. He wants more of that feeling. And emotional presence isn't just for the good moments. It's equally powerful during conflict, tension, or uncertainty. A woman who can stay emotionally present, not reactive, not defensive, not withdrawing, shows emotional maturity, which is deeply attractive. That's the kind of woman a man feels safe opening up to. That's the kind of woman he trusts with his truth. So many women are taught to keep it cool, stay mysterious, or play hard to get. But the truth is, emotional distance repels deep connection. It may spark curiosity at first, but it doesn't create bonding. If you want a man to feel something real with you, the kind of connection that makes him think about you long after the conversation ends, emotional presence is your power tool. It's about slowing down, tuning in, and giving him the gift of your real self in the moment. That's what becomes unforgettable. You don't need to say anything clever or do anything special. Just being fully you, here and now, creates more impact than any dating tactic ever could. The second feminine habit that makes a man emotionally addicted to you is confident boundaries. And this one is powerful because it instantly separates a woman who values herself from a woman who seeks validation. Confident boundaries don't come from defensiveness or walls. They come from clarity, from knowing who you are, what you accept, and what you don't. And when that's communicated with grace, not aggression, it becomes incredibly attractive. Men are drawn to women who have standards, not because they want to be challenged, but because it signals emotional strength. When a woman doesn't bend her values just to keep someone interested, when she can say no without guilt and yes without fear, it tells a man that she knows her worth and that he has to rise to meet it. That energy, it shifts the entire dynamic. It takes you from hoping for his approval to him hoping for your presence. A confident boundary might look like saying no to a last-minute date because your time matters. It might mean not over-explaining yourself when something doesn't feel right. It could be walking away when your needs are consistently unmet, even if your feelings are strong. And here's what's so magnetic about that. It's not loud. It doesn't need a big speech. It's calm. It's solid. It comes from a place of self-respect. And that speaks louder than any demand for respect ever could. Men don't fall for women who make themselves endlessly available. They fall for the woman who values herself so deeply that she becomes a mirror, one that makes him want to be his best. Not because she asked, but because her energy calls for it. That's the power of boundaries. They teach people how to treat you without you needing to teach them at all. But here's the deeper layer most people miss. Confident boundaries are not about pushing people away. They're about creating safety, emotional safety. When you set a boundary with kindness, it lets a man know exactly where he stands with you. That reduces confusion, builds trust, and allows for more real intimacy. He knows where the edges are, and that makes the connection feel solid, not slippery. And don't confuse boundaries with ultimatums. A boundary is something you hold, no matter what someone else chooses. It's about what you do, not about controlling him. That distinction is everything. Because when you stand firm in your energy and your values, without trying to force anything, you instantly shift from needy to magnetic. There's nothing more captivating than a woman who doesn't need attention to feel worthy, who doesn't chase closure, who doesn't try to convince anyone to choose her. Instead, she quietly holds her standards and lets life and people respond accordingly. That confidence, that unshakable self-trust, makes a man see you differently. He can't help but respect it, and more often than not, he'll be drawn in even more. Because true confidence feels rare, and rare feels valuable. So if you're afraid that setting boundaries will scare a man away, ask yourself this: do you want a connection built on pretending, or one built on truth? Because the men who are emotionally healthy, the ones capable of real love, they crave a woman with boundaries. They don't want someone who disappears into their life. They want someone who brings her own life with her and invites them to rise. Confident boundaries don't repel love. They attract the kind that lasts. The third feminine habit that draws a man in and keeps him emotionally hooked is soft power, paired with a sense of mystery. This is where your quiet influence lives, not in control, not in force, but in your ability to impact him without ever having to chase him. Soft power is subtle. It's not about being passive, and it's certainly not about shrinking. It's about owning your energy in a way that says, I don't need to prove anything. I simply am. There is something undeniably captivating about a woman who moves through the world with ease, calm, and confidence without needing to dominate a room. She knows who she is. She speaks when she has something to say, not just to fill silence. She's warm, but not overexposed. She's present, but not desperate to be seen. This balance, this blend of inner strength and softness, speaks directly to a man's emotional instincts. It tells him she's not only secure, but self-led, and that's intoxicating. Now let's talk about mystery. Not the type that plays games or hides the truth, but the kind that comes from not giving it all away at once. You see, in relationships, what keeps a man engaged long-term isn't just connection. It's curiosity. A woman who maintains a rich inner world, who doesn't need to overshare or explain everything, who allows space for him to wonder, what else is there to discover about her? That woman is unforgettable. Mystery doesn't mean being distant or closed off. It means you allow him in, but only as deeply as he earns it. It means you don't hand over your full emotional story on the first few dates. It means your energy invites him closer, but your boundaries keep the pace intentional. This creates emotional tension, the good kind, the kind that builds longing, depth, and intrigue. Soft power is rooted in emotional regulation. You don't overreact, but you don't suppress. You express emotion with maturity, not drama. You handle yourself with grace, even when things don't go your way. That's not weakness. That's deep inner strength. And men, especially masculine men, respond powerfully to it. Why? Because it allows them to relax into their masculine energy. It gives them room to lead, to provide, to pursue, while knowing you are solid within yourself, not needing constant reassurance or control. A woman with soft power doesn't just attract attention, she creates devotion. She's not trying to win love. She embodies it. She makes a man feel safe, yet challenged, seen, yet curious, accepted, yet inspired to earn more of her. That balance of warmth and mystery, of accessibility and depth, it's rare, and rare becomes addictive. And here's the truth. When you're tapped into your soft power, you don't chase love. You draw it in, without effort, without games, without needing to prove your worth, because your energy already says it all. And that quiet, radiant mystery, that's the part of you he'll keep coming back to, long after the conversation ends. Now that we've covered the 3 powerful feminine habits that make you irresistible, let's dive into something truly important, what men secretly crave. It's not always what you might think. While society often tells us that men want flashy displays of affection or constant validation, the truth is they crave something far deeper, something more primal and real. At the core, men crave emotional connection more than anything else. It's easy to assume that a man is only interested in physical attraction or surface level validation. But deep down, he wants someone who understands him, someone who sees him not just as a provider or protector, but as a human being with hopes, fears, and vulnerabilities. What men secretly crave is a woman who can connect with him on a level that feels safe, open, and real. This isn't about endlessly analyzing his emotions or being his therapist. It's about showing up with emotional presence, being the kind of woman who makes him feel seen and heard. Men are often taught to suppress their emotions, to hide their softer sides. They need a woman who can make them feel comfortable enough to drop that armor. Someone who makes them feel safe to be themselves without fear of judgment. Beyond emotional connection, men also crave appreciation. Yes, it may sound simple, but a man wants to feel valued for who he is, not just for what he can provide. A simple thank you or acknowledgement for his efforts goes a long way. It's not about constant praise or flattery, but genuine recognition for the things he does that show he cares. Men often give more than they receive in relationships, and the validation of their efforts is incredibly meaningful to them. Another thing men secretly crave is authenticity. They want you to show up as yourself, not someone you think they want you to be. So many women feel the pressure to act or perform in relationships, thinking that they need to be perfect or fit some mold. But the truth is, men find authenticity far more magnetic than any polished exterior. When you are unapologetically yourself, embracing your quirks and your uniqueness, you invite him to do the same. That raw, unfiltered version of you is what makes a lasting connection. Because it's real, and in a world where so much feels manufactured, real is deeply attractive. Now let's talk about mystery again, because men secretly crave this in ways they may not even realize. The allure of the unknown, the spark of curiosity, it's something every man experiences when they're around a woman who doesn't reveal all her cards immediately. It's not about playing games or keeping them on edge, but rather allowing the relationship to unfold naturally. When you're a bit mysterious, when there's always something new to discover about you, it keeps the attraction alive. This doesn't mean holding back emotionally, but rather giving him the space to earn more of you over time. It's about creating an air of intrigue and depth that keeps him coming back for more. Lastly, men secretly crave nurturing energy. In a world where men are constantly striving, achieving, and often under immense pressure, they need a partner who can provide a safe haven. A woman who is nurturing doesn't necessarily need to take care of him in traditional ways. Rather, she offers warmth, understanding, and emotional support. This doesn't mean you have to be overly caring or self-sacrificial. It simply means showing empathy, kindness, and an openness to his needs. A nurturing energy makes him feel like he can take a breath, be vulnerable, and lean into the relationship. So when you combine emotional connection, appreciation, authenticity, mystery, and nurturing energy, you create an irresistible dynamic that men secretly crave. They want the woman who gives them space to be themselves, who values them without demanding validation, who doesn't reveal everything too soon, and who creates an emotional haven where they can feel safe. When you show up with these qualities, you're not just attracting a man, you're drawing him into a relationship that feels meaningful, deep, and real. As we wrap up today's video, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered. We've talked about 3 feminine habits that can make a man emotionally addicted to you. Habits that go beyond superficial attraction and dive into the core of what makes a deep, lasting connection. Emotional presence, confident boundaries, and soft power, combined with mystery, are the keys to drawing him in, keeping him interested, and creating the kind of bond that withstands the test of time. But here's the thing, these aren't just tactics you apply and then move on. These habits are about shifting your mindset and energy, embracing your own worth, and embodying the kind of woman who doesn't need to chase love, but instead attracts it effortlessly. The truth is, when you step into your full authentic self, and allow these habits to become a part of who you are, you will naturally draw the right kind of man into your life. One who appreciates you, respects you, and is addicted to the energy you bring. And it's not about being perfect or flawless, it's about being real and aligned with your values. Love isn't about playing games or constantly trying to figure out the right move. It's about showing up as you, confidently, and letting the right connection unfold naturally. So as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with a few bonus tips that will help reinforce these habits and deepen your understanding of how to create the kind of love that lasts. First, practice patience. Attraction and emotional bonding take time. So often we rush into relationships or try to force a connection because we're afraid of being alone. But the most magnetic women are those who don't chase. They allow things to unfold at their own pace. You don't have to be in a hurry to make someone fall for you. Trust that the right connection will develop when it's meant to. Second, remember that self-love is the foundation of all of this. If you're not already practicing self-love, everything else will feel like a performance. Take time to nurture yourself, build your own confidence, and know that you are enough just as you are. The more you value yourself, the more the right person will naturally value you. Third, don't fear vulnerability. It's easy to believe that being open with your emotions makes you weak, or that men might lose interest if you show your softer side. But in reality, it's the women who can embrace their vulnerability with confidence that inspire deep love. Vulnerability builds trust and intimacy. Don't hold back. Let him see you, all of you, in your full complexity. That's where real connection happens. Next, keep the mystery alive. Remember, it's not about playing games, but about letting the relationship unfold naturally. Don't feel pressured to reveal everything about yourself right away. Give him the space to discover you bit by bit. Mystery is magnetic, and when you hold that space for discovery, you maintain his curiosity and desire to know you more deeply. Finally, remember that boundaries are a form of self-respect, not control. By setting clear boundaries, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also teaching the other person how to treat you. Boundaries show that you are a woman of substance, a woman who knows what she wants and what she deserves. When you live in alignment with your values, everything else falls into place. So, as you step into this next phase of your journey, whether you're dating, in a relationship, or even just learning to embrace your feminine energy, remember that the most powerful thing you can do is be yourself. Not the version of you that's trying to impress someone, but the woman who is grounded in her own truth and radiates confidence from within. When you embody these habits, emotional presence, confident boundaries, and soft power, you'll naturally draw in the right man, the one who will cherish you for exactly who you are. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found this content helpful, I'd love for you to leave a comment below and share which feminine habit resonated most with you. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more dating and relationship tips that will help you step into your magnetic feminine power.